Hello and welcome to a long-awaited episode of How Not to Garden Railway. A few changes I've got to announce. This will probably be the last episode in the style that I've been doing the last 5 in. I'm going to change the style a bit to make it easier for me to edit. The editing time's been too much and therefore I haven't been able to get the videos out. So inspired by Ben Currington, who is building a 016.5 scale layout in his garden, I make the format a little bit more informal, and perhaps rather than showing you step by step and little steps, maybe just look at the projects that I've been doing. I don't know. Your comments will be gratefully received. What else? Oh, the other announcement is this Saturday and Friday, I think it's the 9th and the 10th, at the Lechfan Garden Railway in Wales on the Talyllyn Railway, is hosting a scale rail ale festival, which I thought I would just do a bit of an announcement for, encourage people to, if they're in the area, to go along to. It promises to be quite good fun. Beautiful garden railway. I've got several videos there, and my pub carriage that I built for the Model of the Year competition will be serving 60mm scale pints. So if you'd like to go along to that, you'll find it should be quite a good day. So, on with the episode. So that's all done, so now we can have a little go at ballasting. I've deliberately not done it because there's a load of soil on the track having planted them, so we need to take the soil off the track and then put some ballast down. So now with the stiff bristle brush, we're just going to brush the soil off the track. Just with the edge. There we go, that's all we need to do really. Now, to ballast we use something known as a Rowland's mix, and this varies person to person. Some people like to put peat in it to encourage moss growth, others don't. Some people have a high cement and sand content to make it look quite scale and small scale, but mine consists of a couple of trowelfuls of cement, a couple of sand, and then, because we're in this fictitious place, we're by the seaside, I've put in a couple of handfuls of this golden, what's it called? Golden flint it's called, which would represent the cobbles that you get on the beach, which would be cheap for the railway to use. So a couple of handfuls of those have gone in, and then I've got some of this smaller stuff, and this is called, what's it called? Green or Alpine Range Cambrian Green it's called, and it's 5mm or smaller, and this is what I use on the rest of the railway. Quite a lot of that in there, so that goes in as well. And then I use soil from the garden, and I just shove quite a lot of that in there as well, like that, and that just does encourage some moss and greenery growth in there. So we just mix it all together very thoroughly, and this is put on dry. I've tried putting it on wet before and it just went all sludgy and horrible. So we mix that in, and then like that. And then we just pour it on top of everything.
And while I'm doing that, here's a little clip of Riverald at my grandfather's garden railway.
now work it into the track, work along as well, pushing it out of the middle of the track onto the sides. Now, on many narrow gauge railways, you couldn't see the sleepers for all the weeds and ballast and general muck. So you don't want to have the sleepers too obvious, really. So we'll just scrape this along here. And try not to cover the plants too much. So along there, like that. Right, so that's nearly there. Now, ballast on the full-size railways, of course, holds the sleepers firmly in position and locks together with the sharp stones to hold everything together. This ballast is purely cosmetic. It serves no purpose other than just to look nice. It also does act like a bit of a mulch, so it doesn't matter if you get any on the surrounding soil. Stops the weeds coming through. Keeps the moisture in the soil. Right, so now let's just go along the flangeways and take out all the stones with our trowel here. And the other one. There we are. That's the track laying very nearly done. Right, and now it's just a case of giving it a good watering. Now to just set it all off, we just water it down. If you've got a watering can with a rose, that's the best thing to use. But I haven't, so I'm just going to cover the spout with my hand and let my fingers trickle it into place like that. And this is a little trick if you don't have a rose you can do very easily. And then you can water the plants as well. Just give the tops of the rails a bit of a wipe and check that the flangeways are still clear. Stop the cement from getting on the top of them, and it'll be much easier to keep it clean rather than scraping dried cement off the top of the rails. Easy to do it now. Keep that round. And there we have it. One slightly damp, foresty corner. Now you can see here some Rowland's mix that I put down last year, and that is holding the sleepers in very well. I used a slightly wetter mix here just because I needed the edge to be held down properly, but look, you can see here that it's taking, the moss is taking onto it very well. You can see the little individual stones. This bit needs redoing. Some of it did get a bit frost damaged, and then you can see that the railway continues over there. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of How Not to Garden Railway, and I hope to see you next time. Cheerio!